Ahem. Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you all are having a good Sunday, etc., etc. Just gotta make the tweet, and there we go. I entirely forget what we were actually doing at the end of the last stream. I have no clue whatsoever what I was actually supposed to be doing. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Hunting down an axolotl in a tree.
アンビストマ、そこにいる水生生物は悪いけど、君はヘルメスを追って捜索を
Okay.
なぜこんな、そもそも
I only remember the dead frogs. They are very memorable. That's also their general recruiting platform. They just go up and blow up at people until they relent and become frogs themselves. It's a death cult, really. Oh look, they found it. Do you like... Do I like Medion? So, like is a strong word. Am I going to be capable of tolerating Medion? Maybe. I shudder to think what this character sounds like in English, and I'm not going to look it up. Well, it's not great in Japanese for me either. I'm not a fan.
ヘルメス、平気
Okay, but that is a good little... That's some good visual... nice physical comedy there. I'm sure he's fine.
天側園にいたのと同じ生物だ。この時代ではアンビストマと呼ばれているらしい。
One of the same beings that was in the garden. In this age, it's apparently called an ambistoma.
アンビストマは無事に木から降りることができたようだが、なぜかヘルメスが枝に引っかかっている。
Yeah, it looks like the ambistoma managed to successfully climb its way down, but somehow enemies ended up, stuck in the tree.
ヘルメス、木の上にアンビストマ見つけた。よじ登って助けようとした。
Oh, wait a second. Why is it doing that? One moment, please. Let me just reset more real quick here. For some reason, it's screwing that up, and that's gonna get annoying. I don't really need it for this. Like, she is just saying, go climb up there and help him. He
そしたら
climbed
アンビス
up
トマ、
there to help
ヘル
it.
メス
Okay.
踏んで降りてきた。ヘルメス、ぐるんってなって、今。
Yeah. I need to warm up my eyes, man. My brain isn't activated yet. Okay. I'm sure you guys don't mind if I skim this a little bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, Hermes, you okay there?
ああ、大丈夫だ。見苦しいところを、すまない。
見苦しいところ。Yes, I'm fine. This is like, my apologies. You shouldn't have to see this.
ひとまず、少し離れていてほしい。巻き込まないという、保証ができない。
I'm sorry, what is this bit that they're running right here? Yeah, okay, for now, please step a bit back. I can't guarantee you won't be, like, caught up in this, like, caught up in the blast. What is he about to do to get out of the tree? Oh, he just fell.
ヘルメス、平気？大丈夫？
Hermes, are you alright? You okay?
ああ、大丈夫だ。心配をかけて悪かった、メーティオン。
Yes, I'm fine. Sorry to worry you, Meteon.
それに、
Now then. And
オレオ・マクフラリー、面白い響きの名前だ。新種の生物という感じがする。
Yeah, the name has such a, interesting ring to it. Such an odd ring to it. Sounds like a new species entirely. Like, no, it's actually a frozen dessert available.
ありがとう。わざわざ追いかけてきてくれて。
Thank you for coming to my assistance.
君も無事で何よりだ。だが、いくら浮遊能力があるといえど、高い木から落ちたら、怪我をしてしまうかもしれない。
Okay, why are we, it might just be because I'm a bit on the tired side, but this really does feel like it's dragging. So let's try and power through. Okay. Above all, I'm glad that you're safe, little one. No matter how well you can float. Or like, yeah, float within the air, I guess. If you fall from a very tall tree, you could still be injured.
今後はどうか気をつけてほしい。他の仲間たちも心配。
Please be more careful. All the others were worried sick over you. They would be worried.
他の仲間たちを置いてきてしまった。
Yeah, all the others were sick. I left all the others behind. Oh no! What is this comedy routine? Okay.
そうか、エメトセルクとヒュトロダイウスが。よかった、後で彼らにもお礼を言わなければ。
Okay. Emitsalk and Hythlodaeus. We're looking after them. Thank goodness. I'll have to thank them later.
今更になってしまったが、エルピスの所長として君たちを歓迎しよう。どうぞよろしく。
I realize this may be quite late, but as director of Elpis, I offer you, I welcome you here. We're glad to have you here. No, honestly, it's endearing. This Fidaniel is endearing, I would say. Hey, man, hey guys, I think you might, even if you know zero Japanese, you might be picking up on a word that keeps showing up a lot in the script. Fukaku ni aru omoi. Yeah, weird. Weird how that keeps showing up. Weird how that just keeps showing up in the script. So, this is why this is such a pain in the ass to translate, because Fukaku ni aru omoi. You know, this is like the deepest held thoughts or deepest held feelings, deep-seated feelings, but there's overlap, right? This omoi can mean a bunch of different things, and so they can use a bunch of them. They can use all of the different meanings of it to build the theme, but it's much harder to do that in translation. But still, you gotta try. And let us see.
よし、エメとセルクたちが困っているといけない。まずは、みんなで
I'm sorry.
彼らの元へ戻るとしよ
う。I'm sorry. The English for this one is ponder, warrant, cherish, welcome. That's like... I just cringed so hard I blue screened. Oh, great. You know what, maybe go... You know what, honestly, go back to the meme names. Like, just go back to the meme quest names. Don't try and be serious. Because they even went over, if they were gonna do this, they would go, you would do it as a rule of 3. But also, none of those words really seem to matter. Like, none of that really ties into any of this. Not even close. Okay. They must be having a hard time. You know, they must be at a loss knowing what to do with the, beast, Tomo, whatever they were called. We should head back. Friend.
心なしか小さな冒険をしたことに胸を張っている気がする。
Amazing. Okay, that's absolutely adorable. It's like it seems as though it has like a it seems to like have taken pride in its little adventure. the little Ambistova is super proud of itself for going out and having a big adventure. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, they didn't translate that. They just made up a completely different thing. The English is the Ambistoma stares at you unflinchingly as if regarding something novel. Regarding it in turn, you notice it appears to be floating, if ever slightly. Wait, no, never mind. Wrong one. This is the one that they did here, and it's still completely wrong. Oh my god, no. So that was the previous one, but now this is this one, and they still mess it up. They downplay it massively. This line in the actual English is, perhaps it's only your imagination, but something in the creature's demeanor bespeaks proud defiance for having gone on an adventure. You used none of these words correctly. Okay. Clearly I'm in tired mode, and so I should not be comparing anything to the English at all today. I'm just gonna put it there. I'm just gonna put it there and stop.
改めて各方に迷惑をかけた。おかげさまでアンビストマはみんな元気だ。
迷惑をかけた。This is something that comes up a lot too, and is very fun. You can have very, very long phrases in Japanese regarding, like, causing, you know, trouble for somebody, yada yada yada, like pseudo-apologizing, when in English you would probably just say, my apologies. Like, literally, this entire top sentence would accurately be localized to just my apologies. Thanks to you, all of the Ambistoma are safe and healthy.
自分は彼らを待機場所に送り届ける。魔法で転移させるから、そう時間はかからない。
Okay, I'm gonna send them somewhere else. Okay,
他
so
よ
you
り
can
も
teleport
大きな
them. It won't
館
take
があ
long.
る。1階が打ち合わせに使える場になっているから、そこで待っていてもらえるだろうか?
Okay. The northern side of the garden. There's a larger building manor than the rest. First floor is a place that can be used for meetings, so could you please
了
wait
解
there?
だ。適当に待たせてもらうから、お前は今度こそ、そいつらを取り逃がすなよ。
It's got like a meeting place there. Oh, wow. Okay. This is a fun one. Tekito? Tekito ni. MTL always fucks up the word tekito ni. Or, like, just the word tekito in general. Usually it ends up translating it to, like, random. But it's one of those words that can mean pretty much two completely opposite things. It can either mean, like, an appropriate or suitable amount, and it can also mean, like, random, unserious. So MTL always fucks it up. It's great. Yeah. It's sort of like the, it's sort of like in English when you say that something is like, shit, what's the term that I'm thinking of? Like, deceptively? where the same thing can mean opposite, it can have actual opposite meanings. So really this is... and 待たせてもらおうから。Yeah, we'll wait there for a while. Don't let them get away. I really am kind of wondering where we're going with all this, though.
ひとまず、こちらの要件を済ませてしまうことになりそうかな。エルメスに話があるのはエメトセルクだから、君の立ち会いを許すかどうかは、彼の判断に任せるよ。
Okay, so... Hythlodaeus is just saying... Ooh, fully voiced. Hythlodaeus is just saying, you know, what we're doing here is ultimately up to itself. Looks like this is the place that Hermes wanted us to come to.
だが、お前はダメだ。同席はさせられない。
What? No. But you can't be here for this.
やましい話じゃないが、人の今後を左右する大事な話だ。どこから来たのかも言えないような奴に聞かせられるものか。
やましい. Okay. Yeah, it's not as though we have anything to hide. Yeah, but we're about to discuss something incredibly important, and that will affect like the future of all of humanity. There's no way we can let someone, you know, who won't even tell us where they're actually from, listen in on it.
なんだ、食ってかかる気か?
This is peak FFXIV. It's back. He's back. We're so back, bros. This is basically like saying, what, you're gonna... This is basically the equivalent of just saying, like, hey, you mad? You mad, bro? But more specifically, it's like, are you gonna... I would probably just say, like, oh, did that strike a nerve? Okay, so you can say, like, I want to you know, communicate as much as possible. Or there's a reason that I can't back down here. I'm just gonna say there's a reason I can't back down here. I gotta be here.
だったらその事情とやらを明らかにしたらどうだ。納得できるものなら協力するぞ。
So, in that case, why don't you tell me what these, reasons of yours might be? If they're good enough, I'll help.
自分は彼女に同席してもらっても構わない。
For me, I don't particularly mind them listening in.
ヘルメス。だが、こいつは。
Hermes, but they're...
メーティオンに気に入られた存在だということは、自分にとってどんな言葉で論じられるよりも信用に値する。
Huh. Well, people do this in real life. Okay, so what he said was, yeah, to me, like for Medion to I guess you would use the word trust here. Like for Medion to have taken a liking to them matters to me more. Like than any facts possibly could. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. My dog likes you, so I trust you. People do this in real life a lot, and it's always insane. Where it's just like, oh man, my dog that I barely train whatsoever likes you, so you must be a good person. Oh, my cat likes you, so you have to be a good person. I'm gonna ignore all the serial killer vibes you're giving off because my cat likes you. It's not really a good basis for trust.
それに第三者がいてくれた方が冷静でいられそうだ。
Huh. That's interesting. And as well, having a third party might be better to, help keep things calm.
わかった。お前の意見を尊重しよ
う。Understood. I'll defer to your judgment. This is another case of, just differences in what's considered polite. In English, you would say, like, I'll defer to your judgment, whereas in Japanese, it's like, I will... I place your opinion in higher esteem.
静かに聞いているんだぞ。
Listen and be quiet. And we're not... You're just here to listen. Just sit and listen quietly. Wait, why are we... Hold up.
それで話というのはやはり。
I mean, there's nowhere else for me to sit, but it feels very weird to take that seat. Like, that is the third-party seat, but fuck, that feels weird. Feels like I'm the mediator now. Like we're having a debate and I'm the one mediating it. And so, what you wanted to talk to me about, is it really...
ファダニエルが座を降りることを決めた。公認としてお前を推挙している。
And Fadaniel has decided to... what's the term from this? For this. There is a term for this in English, to like... To... It's not abandoned, it's... Abdicate? Step down? Yeah, you could just say step down. But it's specifically from its... That it's... You know, you still want to use the phrase seat. Like, so maybe you would say abdicate. From the seat. Of Fadaniel. Whatever. I'm recommending you as the successor. You can step down. That's true. I'm just trying to remember because there is like... I'm trying to remember what the actual terminology for that would be. Or like a political seat. If somebody is going to be resigning from a seat, there's like an actual term that you use. Or whatever. Okay. The Committee of 14. Oh god, I love MPL. Acquire for cut debt. It's no, this cut debt is the Committee of 14 values your achievements and deep knowledge. And are leaning towards accepting this proposal.
あえて面識がない私がここに来たのは、公正な目で近況を確認するため。
And as such, I, having never met you in person, have come to evaluate you in as unbiased of a manner as possible.
そして何より、お前自身の意志を問うためだ。
And, of course, most importantly of all, I've come to ask you personally what it is that you wish to do. Like, you know, whether or not you wish to accept the nomination.
現ファダニエルももともとはここの所長だ。公私ともにお前と親交があったと聞く。
Huh. Who is this person? The current Fadaniel was originally was the previous director here. I've heard that you were friends both professionally and privately. Or you were acquainted.
座を譲りたいという旨も何度か話をしていたそうじゃないか。だから予測がついていたんだろう。
They had said multiple times that were intending, like they had told you multiple times about that they were intending on, or were wanting to step down to abdicate their position. So I believe you should have seen this coming.
そうだ。私がなすべき仕事を終える時には、お前を襲おうと、あの方は何かにつけておっしゃっていた。
Hmm. You're right. They told me when I've done what I need to do, I'll like give them. I'll recommend you to them. I'm not quite sure who this. It's a crap. I'm trying to remember who this previous person is that they're talking about. Yo, what up, Badge?
とてもじゃないが、喜んでいるようには見えないな。それほど14人委員会の名を背負うのが嫌か。
Hmm. Man, Evan Silk is great. This, とてもじゃないが。とてもじゃないが。Hold up. I need to make sure that I get the tone on this right, because this is, you know, a very fun sort of... It's pretty much like you don't seem to be... Yeah, you seem to be not at all pleased with this. You don't seem to be like the slightest bit happy to hear this. Yaka. Ah, the catchphrase, the catchphrase, wonderful. Like this. Do you so strongly dislike the idea of carrying the name of one of the Committee of 14?
いや、そうじゃない。そうじゃないんだ。
No, it's not that, it's...
委員会に推挙してもらえたことは光栄に思う。研究ばかりの自分には過ぎるほどの申し出だ。
Being, being recommended for the committee is an honor. And for someone like me who's, you know, been entirely obsessed with his research, it's far too good for me.
だが、現ファダニエルが座を降りようとしていること、それそのものが割り切れない。
But the current Fidaniel would be, I think, yeah, I'm just gonna say stepping down. Yeah, sure. I've come around on it. For the current Fidaniel to be stepping down, that itself is what I just can't understand.
やはり彼は星に帰るのだろうか。
Oh, shit. Okay. Hoshi ni kaeru. Fuck. So, I'm assuming that they're using this term in this era to refer to people who are going to be sacrificing themselves to Zodiac, to like return themselves to the world, to the earth, right? Like in the same way that somebody might say, like, you know, return to the soil, return to dirt, etc. But I'm trying to think of a good way that you would phrase this. Not Zodiac? Just the planet's essence? Well, that's just like a difference in context. I'm not quite sure what they mean. I haven't seen that yet. So in that case, in English you would probably say... Ah shit, what was the actual name of the planet again? I forget. Like the actual name. It was like a... What, Eteris? Or something? Was it like Eteris? Yeah. I know about the whole, like, Zodiac only came to be as a response to the apocalypse, but... I couldn't think of another explanation for the usage of this Kaeru. So I was thinking, like, are they building up the idea that they had some sort of, like, contingency plan in place, like, ahead of time? You know, did they, like, foresee this thing that was coming up just like it was happening to us now, like, before there were immediate blatant signs? They had, like, some, you know, forecasting and prediction or something along those lines. But it appears as though they're bringing up an entirely new concept, actually. Yeah, in English you would probably say returning to Eteris. Or something. You would probably use the planet name.
そのつもりだとは聞いている。過去に14人委員会に属した者もほとんどが退任とともに帰っているしな。
Huh. Though this is a thing that came up that they didn't translate in the, they didn't translate it in the English, but they said it on the moon, the people's memories. You know, the ancients' memories on the moon. Said a thing about it where they were talking about, like, the idea, the concept that a permanent death could come without warning. Like, someone could be gone forever, unannounced. Was a thing that terrified them. So they did establish that they had a concept of, you know, some form of death, but it was that something that people would choose. It isn't something that would happen on accident. I've heard that that's what they intend to do. You know, as most of the, you know, most members of the Committee 14 have done upon their retirement. You know, have done alongside their retirement. Or, actually, you'd say resignation. Okay, that doesn't make that much sense. I mean, I guess that they've got the general idea of death, but this is a bit weird. This feels like it's aimed at the player. This feels like it's aimed at the player, because I don't think that these characters would even... It doesn't really make a ton of sense for these characters to even... Like, for Medion to even really know what death is at this point. Because, you know, like, when you took out those butterflies and turned them into a code, they were just like, no, 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 we didn't actually kill them, we just turned them back into ether. Like, that's... You know, they were made of ether, and we just turned them back into ether. It's not... They didn't die or anything. But to them, the idea, like, the concept of death would be a bit different here. Hermes want to talk to her about it? Potentially. This does feel like a line that's just, intended for the player, though. Returning to Aetheris. Does that mean dying?
おや珍しいね。エルピスではそう呼ぶ方が主流なのかい
Oh, shit.
その言葉を使う人はめったにいないと思っていたけれど。
Oh, shit. That's actually... They actually bring it up. Wait, they actually... Hold up. You brought me right back in. Oh, that's unusual. Is that the way that people call that? Is that how people refer to it in Oedipus? There really aren't very many people who... There really aren't very many people at all who use that word.
我らは星の意志であり、細胞である。この命こそが星に流るる血の一滴。己神のごとく星を育め。
Ah, you're going with the cell metaphor. You're going with the cell metaphor, hell yeah. It is critically important that you use the word Sai-ho or Sai-bo. Yeah, we are the will of the world and its cells. Each life a drop of blood flowing through its veins. Oh, man, okay. The question is... Oh, they don't say cell. Okay, that's fucked up. You have to say cell. I think that that's going to matter very heavily. The cell metaphor is, I think, going to matter quite a lot. Like, just saying is the life of Aetherius is not the same. Our lives are, you know, each like a drop of blood flowing through the world, you know, and thus, like, sustaining it.
それが私たち人の役割だよ。星を良くすることで、そこに生きるすべてのものが幸せでいられるようにするわけだね。
Well, I think it's important to use the cell metaphor because I think that that's... One, it gives the it lets you know that they know what, like, a cell is. They have a better like, they've got a full understanding of biology and shit. And two, establishing the concept of the planet itself, or, like, ether-based life as being, like, individual cells of a greater organism or of a kind builds up a better foundation for eventually expanding into what ether and, like, dynamis actually are. And the modality, like, the ways in which the usage of ether and the way that, like, ether life operates can influence that greater whole. Whereas there, it just sounds like he's saying like a stock metaphor. Whereas in the Japanese, it sounds more literal. Like, it sounds more like he's talking about, like, an actual biological structure. And that is the role of humanity. Or that is the role of humans. That through improving the world, like, we can bring happiness to all that which lives in it.
Minna, そのために知り、考え、作り出してきた。おかげで原初の頃は荒々しかったという星は、これほどまでに穏やかに優しいものになった。
Ooh, that's interesting. This is the first time we've actually heard about this. Yeah, all of us, for that reason, have learned, thought, and created. Yeah, and so this, like, once wild planet, like, and through that, this once wild planet has become, you know, has become this calm, like, serene and gentle. Something like that.
星に帰るというのは、そうして星を育んだ者にこそ与えられる選択肢だ。
Ah, I see. Returning to Eteris. Like, is an option, is something that is only, like, given to those, or is, like, only granted to those who have nurtured the world? Or, I guess you would say have nurtured it, referring to Eteris.
大いに生き、己のやるべきことを果たしたと思ったときに、人々はそれを選ぶ。
This is very similar to... This is similar to a lot of stuff that's in, you know, Tom Sports Utopia. It's very similar to a lot of the stuff that's in the Culture series again. When people have lived full lives and believed that they have done what it is that they are, you know, meant to do, they make this choice.
最後の瞬間はいつだって、それは美しいものさ。
This is creeping me out now, actually, though. Yeah, that final moment is always beautiful.
14人委員会に加わった者とて、その流れからは逸脱しない。ここで存分に役目を果たせたら、まさしく帰るにふさわしいと多くの者は考える。
Okay. Even those who join the Committee of 14 do not separate from that trend. Or yeah, do not deviate, separate from that trend. And many of them believe that upon like fulfilling their duties within the committee, that they will have like earned their right to return.
私たちの座はついた者にとって名数と同義だ。ごく一部の例外を除いてな。
Huh. Ah, that's so cool. That's such a good way of wording it. So, they say that, like, the seats and those who take them, like, to them, their like, service is their life. But the mes here is, like, your life span. Like, your entire life expectancy, or whatever. You know, destiny. Yeah, and with a few exceptions. There are a couple of people who have stepped down without
パダニエ
returning
ルが
to
帰るのを
Hythlodaeus.
認められないのは、彼の功績がそれに値しないと考えているからか
Ooh. Yeah, for you to be able to for you to be unwilling to accept Padaniel's return, do you believe that they have not earned it yet? Like their achievements have not merited it yet.
知らないわけはないと思うが、あの御人は多くの素晴らしいイデアを生み出した。
I'm sure you're well aware that they have produced many absolutely spectacular, wonderful ideas.
こと新たな動物を作ることにかけてはな、エルピスでの経験を生かし、いくつもの種を生み出したものだ。
Yeah, and, you know, of course, creating new life forms, new animals, using his, knowledge. Actually, I don't know their gender, but I'm just gonna say his, experience in Oedipus to create, you know, many new species. They're being a bit...
もちろんそれはよくわかっている。自分はただ
Of course, I'm well aware. It's just that I.
あれほど偉大で
Oh, they did say
命を
Kare.
知る人であっても
I'm a bit like
や
still
は
have
り
the
そうし
sleep.
て終わりを選ぶのかと。
Several times. Yeah, I'm still half asleep. It's that sort of thing where you're like, I wasn't actively thinking about it, but I just, like, at some point heard it and internalized it, and I was like, oh yeah, he. No, the caffeine has already been drunk, it's just gotta kick in. Huh. そして終わりを選ぶのが。Yeah, okay, so we're already establishing the primal fear of death in Hermes. Right here, but we're doing it in a good, subtle way. Yeah, it's just that I just can't understand how someone who knows so much of life would still choose to end their own. Ah, man. Also, if you recall back to the thing that actual, you know, endgame Fidaniel said about, like, I wonder if the, like, person who, like, used to hold this soul would, you know, weep at what, at the way that all of this is played out. You know, posing it as a question, really. This is sort of why that's important, rather than making it a definitive statement. Ugai night. How terrible. This is more like how terrible of me. And my own unrest. You know, he's saying like my own unrest has been transferred to her, conveyed to her.
少しの間、彼女を連れ出してやってはくれないか。気分転換をした方がいい。
I know I asked for you to be here, but I'm sorry, would you be willing to take her outside for a moment? I think, you know, taking a break would do her some good. Hey, Hermes, why'd you make some sort of weird bird thing and then teach it about the concept of death? That seems like, fuck, that just reminds me of that one, Onion video. The, like, you know, first talking gorilla taught the concept of death. Excellent video.
オレオ、ごめんなさい。私、外出るね。よかったら一緒にお散歩。
Could you wanna go? Could you go for like a walk with me? I don't really want to.
ヘルメスは死ぬこと考えるとすごく悲しくなる。
Yeah. When Hermes thinks about death, he gets really sad.
ヘルメスが周りの人が悲しいと私も同じに悲しい。そういう風に作られてるから。
You know, when Hermes or other people around me are sad, I get sad too. That's how I was made.
でももう大丈夫。だから仲良くお散歩希望します。
Okay.
あなた、
I
目
hope
的
let's
エ
go
メトセ
take a
ルフ
walk.
と違う。どうしてエルピスいる？
Yeah, you're here for a different reason than Emmett Hulk. Why are you here in Oedipus?
エルピスとヘルメス知るため。じゃあ私紹介する。
All right, lock in. We're going on a Medion adventure. Okay, you came here to learn about Oedipus and Hermes. Okay, then I can tell you.
私一つ教えたらあなた一つ教える。どう？
Okay. Yeah, it's like, okay, we could take turns. You know, I tell you something, you tell me something. Okay? How does that sound? まあいいけど。面倒だな。I'm just gonna say, yeah, that's fine.
ふふ、交渉成立。
Okay. Yay. It's a deal.
じゃあね、そこの広場でメムノンと話すはどう？
Okay, so, how about we go talk to Memnon in the square over
こ
there
の
first?
通り、私、口で会話とても下手。でもメムノン、話すの上手。きっとあなたの役立つから行こ
This is interesting. No, it's not really. So, I think that this might be a case of I'm not actually going to look up how they translated this, but this is actually interesting. This is their justification. It's not that this is actually like her natural personality, but rather like there is some sort of actual like defect here, or like a speech impediment. Like, as you can see, I'm not good at like talking. She says like talking with my mouth, right? But in English it sounds kind of weird. Like, I'm not good at, I think you could say like talking with my voice, probably. Or like talking out loud. Yeah, you'd probably say talking out loud. But Memnon is really good at talking. I'm sure it'll you know, it'll be useful. I'll have some good information, rather. Let's go. So, like, that is the thing that's going on here, is that I'm... If I had to guess, and especially with the idea of it being, like, her name being Meteor, effectively, I would not be surprised at all if this is some really fucked up, like, esoteric experiment on how living things react to the concept of death. And, like, Medion is not the, like, completed form of whatever the idea that Hermes was talking about, so what's gonna happen to her? I think that's sort of what we're getting into here, which is also then going to be reflected into the idea of, like, Medion in this scenario is sort of an equivalent or a representation of what modern people are to the ancients. Like a imperfect, kind of fucked up, stumbling being that can't really exist in a entirely self-sufficient manner. You know, it's kind of awkward and stumbling and doesn't really work the way that it should. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to use Medion here as a sort of microcosm of the entire story arc. That's some classic sci-fi writing shit.
これはね、エーテライト。あると、転移魔法、楽ちんになる。エルピスに入れた人、みんな使えるよ。
This is an etherite. Where there's one teleportation magic gets easier. Everyone in Elpis can use it.
プロピュライオンにある、地上につながる装置、ナビにある、島と島をつなぐ装置、そっちはね、権限ある人が動かさないと、使えない。
Okay. Okay, but okay, the ones that like go further away can't be used unless you have like
私は
an
エルピスの外に行
authorized
くとき、
navigator or something.
だから、ナビ以外、あまり使わないけど。
When I go out of Oedipus, I fly, so I don't really use like them that much. But man, that's the thing, I'm really interested in. Can I relapse real quick? Can I check that, can I check this one line? Can I relapse, guys? I know I'm not gonna get my chip for it, but this line seems very important. You know, the Kuchi de Kaiwa. And if they don't translate that, that's really bad. I'm doing it. Oh, man. They fucked it up. They fucked it up. Yeah, they fucked it up. So, the Japanese was Kuchi de Kaiwa. So, the actual Japanese line was, I'm not really good at talking with my voice. Like, physically she has trouble speaking, is what I'm getting from the Japanese. Is like, it is physically difficult for her to speak. Like, she had no problem, she was talking to you very cleanly and fluently when she was using the telepathy to talk to you. But it's difficult for her to form words physically. You know, she's got a speech impediment. There's a defect there or something, is what I'm getting from that. In the English, they said, I'm not good at explaining, but Memnon is. No. So they completely got rid of the direct statement of, I'm not good at using my voice. Which, like, that seems kind of important to me. I don't know. That might be me reading too much into it, or it might be me making a bit of a weird read as a result of being pretty half asleep. Because, man, as it turns out that, I did say, like, the last time that I'm on a new insomnia medication, and it's very effective at making me fall asleep, but it's too effective at making me fall asleep. And so, it does have a hangover period. So, I'll actually it's probably going to be like the opposite of usual, where I'll get, like, more lucid as the stream goes on. Right now, I'm still in a bit of a haze. But, I don't know, man. Like, 口で会話 seems pretty difficult to fuck
おや
up.
おや、あなたは、ふむ。
Oh my, so you're,
人に似せているようですが、異様に屈強で大柄なタイプということは、
Any side
メ
effects
ーテ
yet?
オンと
Mostly
同
just
じ
the
く
hangover.
擬人型の使い魔ですね。どうかしたのですか？
It's not nearly as bad, like, to overshare a little bit. You know, I'm gonna go full Gen Z. Gonna start oversharing, gonna start trauma dumping. But, the one that they had me try before this was so bad. That it made me cancel the stream that one time. I woke up and was completely incapacitated for the rest of the entire day. I just literally couldn't, I just could not function. So it's a step up from that, especially considering that it's a fucking chemical off button. Like, it solves the problem of not being able to fall asleep, for sure. 100%. It's the, waking up afterward that's a bit of a problem. Because rather than inducing sleep, it does kind of seem like it's inducing comas. So, probably just gotta, lower the dose on it a bit. But there's there's an adjustment period for finding a sweet spot of actually making you fall asleep versus not rendering you a zombie in the morning. No, yeah, like I got real bad insomnia to the point where I have on multiple occasions tanked like high dose Ambien and just not slept still. You ever been up for 48 hours on Ambien? It's not fun. But it is very funny for everyone else who is not you. Who are, everyone else other than you. It's great to them. Anyway, back to the game. You appear to be human, but yeah, your unusually, muscular and large frame, makes you well, it's like you have an unusually large and robust frame. So then, just like Medion, you're a humanoid familiar, or something along those lines. Do you need anything from me?
オレオに、ここのことを教えてほしい。
Yeah, Silver, I would say that the big problem with not actually translating it, though, is that by having her say, I'm not good at explaining, that's introducing a different concept. That's just making it seem like she's, has a hard time explaining things or formulating the ideas, whereas it muddies the message, rather than making it more about the physical problem. I want you to tell them about, everything about here. Or
なる
like
ほど、
about this
彼女
place.
は新しく来た使い魔なのですね。ええ、お安いご用ですよ。
I see. God, I love MTL. I love MTL so much. Oyasui. I see. Yeah, so she's a new familiar as well. Or, she's a new familiar. I see. Yes, that's no problem at all. No trouble at
前
all.
提として、人は星を良くしていくという使命を帯びています。創造魔法で新たなものを作るのも、そのための行いです。
Huh. 前提として. That's... Ooh, I really like that usage of Zente. it's like it is a given that humans have the have the mission of improving the world. Like, that's a, it's a fundamental assumption. Effectively describing it as like an axiom. And our development of new things through creation magic is for this purpose.
しかし、むやみに作っていては、星にカオスが生じる。だからこそ、自分たちの作ったものに対して、適切な判断を下すことが必要になってくるのです。
Why are we suddenly saying chaos in katakana? Oh, I'm gonna read way too much into that. It's probably just because they just went with that because it's like, we're in the ancient times, and so they're going to be using a few different words. But that makes me go, chaos, you say? Now is the time when if I was like a good streamer, I'd have a button that I would press that would bring up what's-his-face from the, what was it, Sid? Like, I've come here to kill chaos. Kill chaos. My one mission, kill chaos. Stranger of Paradise. Chaos. If I had a stream deck for anything, it would be that, the just slam cut to the punch. I don't give a fuck. I'm here to kill chaos. Okay. Anyway. Indiscriminate creation will only bring chaos to the world. Therefore, we need to carefully judge that which we create.
エルピスでは、創造物管理局への正式登録に先駆けて、生物や魔法生物に対して、より詳しい観察と研究が行われます。
Oh, this is the worst sort of line for half asleep me. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. In FFXIV. Okay. You have to read and then flip the entire sentence structure to make this make sense in English. Give me a second. I'm gonna be slower on this than normal. 創造物管理局への正式登録に対して Okay. Here in Elpis, prior to their, to formal registration at the Creation Administration Bureau, life forms are, detailed observation and research is conducted on, living creatures and magical beings. It's interesting that they're making a distinction between seibutsu ya mahou seibutsu. It's interesting that they're making a distinction there. Like that there's a difference between the two. I really want to kind of look around I want to talk to some other NPCs in the area to see if anybody will give me a clean breakdown on the difference between seibutsu and mahou seibutsu. Because that's pretty interesting to me. Because I'm wondering if they're referring to the idea that there are created life forms that are not made of or with ether. in any way. That would be interesting. Because there being a delineation here, it seems... Does this delineation exist in English? Because that would be... I don't know, I might be just, like, overplaying the importance of this, but for me, when I see Sib, it's the Amaho Sib, there's a lot of implications that come from that. Like, just that line implies a whole lot of things. It opens up a lot of questions. But anyway, yeah, they do
どういった
research.
性質を持つのか、生育に適した地域はどこか、他の種や環境にどういった影響を与えるのか。
Yeah, what nature do they have? What areas, what sort of environment is suitable for their growth, or like suitable for their life? What impact they'll have on other species and the environment around them.
それらをすべて明らかにし、問題なしとされた創造生物のみ、実際に適切な地域に放つのです。
They've done that before playing seeds. Yeah, we learn all that we can of that, and only the like created life forms that are considered to be unproblematic are released into their appropriate habitats.
あなたたちも星を良くすることを願って作られた存在。ヘルメスたちの言うことを聞いてお利口にするのですよ。
お利口にする。Yeah, you two were also created with the wish of, again, 願って作られた存在. This is the same verbiage that they use for idols. Like that you are made with a specific request in mind. Like you were both made with the hope of making the world a better place. Yeah, so, you know, be on your best behavior and listen to whatever Hermes, you know, and the others tell you to do, okay?
私たちお利口だから散歩してる。教えてくれてありがとう。
お利口だから。
メムノン。
Yeah, like we're being good. Yeah, I would say like you're be good now. Like we're being good. That's why we're out here on the walk. Thank you for everything. Thank you for telling us all of this, Memnon. That's like that's a thing that you say
オレオ
for like
エルピ
kids,
スの
you
こ
know.
と一つ分かった
Go and be
そ
like
した
be
ら
good now.
私
You
から
hear?
も質問してい
You're a
い
good kid. Yay. Okay, did you learn about Oedipus? Then can I ask you a question now?
じゃあね、まず羽、あなたはどこから来ましたか
So, first, where did you come from? Oh, these are fun. You could say like from somewhere very far away. You can just really freak her out. Sayaku no? Like somewhere on the verge of calamity. You know, from the Crystallium. I'm gonna say, you know, I'm just gonna go with like somewhere very, very, very far away.
じゃあ、わからないかも。私、地上はあんまり詳しくないから。
You know, then I probably don't know it. I don't know that much about, like, the surface.
ああ、だけど、その場所へのあなたの思いは伝わってくる。
Huh. あなたの思い。Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Welp. I think I know where we're going with this. I swear to fuck if they do this, I'm going to be mad. If Meteon was the flower that we had, like literally was the flower, okay, yeah, that's what they're gonna fucking do. Because you had the butterflies and they turned into the robes that you're wearing. They're going with like, oh, created life forms just change form by being like changed into the ether. Meteon is literally gonna turn into the goddamn flower. And also, them saying that it's like, oh, you know, your heart, I can tell how much you love that place. She can just kind of sense that. If she's some sort of, like, experiment into Dynamis or whatever and is operating on that wavelength, that would also make a lot of sense. I swear to God, if that's what they do, I'm gonna be mad, though. Don't tell me if I'm right, but I get the distinct feeling that that's what they're gonna do. Just them saying, like, あなたの思いは伝わってくる. Like, hey, how did you feel like my, you know, that 思い? And we're talking about Dynamis being a thing that operates off of... Okay, so, and then the reason that they would be able to talk to you telepathically is because they're operating via Dynamis or whatever, potentially, but that would mean that they're not, like, they're less physically real and they're more Dynamis/dark energy, right? And it would make sense that Hermes would want to make something like that to try and explain, like, death and what happens after death, or like this other force potentially relating to entropy, etc. You know, he's already so utterly fucking terrified of the concept of death. I'm getting a vague idea of where we're going here. Why be mad? Well, the reason why I would be mad is that it would be a blatant sucker punch. Like, you're gonna make this cutesy-ass NPC that you're supposed to get super attached to and really like, and then it's gonna die right in front of you. In some, like, horrible, tragic way. Yeah, I can feel how much you love that place.
いけない。私の力、話してない。
Oh no, I haven't told you about, like, this, my
じゃあ
ability,
次
my
は
power.
それ教える。だから天
Yeah,
則
so I'll
園の
tell you
中
about
で
that
暇
next.
そうな創造生物を探して。
I still don't have anything for Tensoku. Tensokuen. I mean, I guess you would just say the observation garden. But it's like, you know, they're using the term for, like, astronomical observation. And then garden. Okay, let's look for a... like a created life form that doesn't seem too busy or something. Like, you know, I guess probably one that's, like, not under observation right now. Whoa! Of course it's a shoe belt. It's
あそこに
brigands.
いる黒いもじゃもじゃは
Those, yeah, like black. Honestly, moja moja here. You'd probably go with like those little black puffballs. Well, moja moja is more like scraggly. Ah. What do you go with for this? I guess you would probably say like bristly little puffballs or something.
スプリガンオレアスだよ。
Spriggan? No, those are oreas.
最近来た子の中でも特に注目されてるみたい。可愛いけどいたずら好きでイデアを込めたクリスタル持ち出しちゃうんだ。
Yeah, okay, out of all, like, the new life forms, they're particularly popular. They're cute, but they really like pranks and like steal idea crystals.
それでヘルメスがオロオロしてた。
Yeah, Hermes doesn't really know what to do with them. They're running off stealing crystals all the time. Wonderful. Their descriptions for shoebills are always great. I mean, look at this shit. It's like entirely unmoving bird. Like stone still.
確かに暇そ
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
う。名前なんだっけな。そもそもエルピスにこんな子いたっけ？
What was its name? I haven't seen this in Edifice before.
ともかくこの子の考えてること読み取ってみせるね。それが私の力。
Yeah, so if you're being made with some sort of artificial transcendence ass thing going on here, yeah, I'll read what it's thinking. I'll read its mind. That's my power. Wow.
"わからないというか、ぶ?"
わからないというか。Yeah, I don't know what it's thinking, or rather, like it's this mu. The mu here is it's not just like, oh, it's not thinking anything. It's like almost it has achieved a complete clearness of mind, you know? The mu. You know, like in like Buddhist meditation style thing, it's like, you know, achieving that state of absolute clearness of mind. You know, like there is nothing.
違うの。こんなはずじゃなくて。待ってね。今度はあなたに。
Wait, no, that shouldn't be possible. Hold on. Let me try it on you again.
こんにちは。聞こえますか？
Hello? Can you hear me?
これが私の力。周囲の思いを読み取り、自分の思いを返しているのです。
Ah! We're using Omoi for both. Fuck. Okay. This... Ooh, okay, I gotta be very precise with the translations to these omoi. Omoi o kaishite. Yeah, this is my power to, like, read the hearts of those around me, and自分の思いを返している. I mean, I'm assuming that she's saying, like, to like establish a link between her and the person who is being read, like to influence them in turn.
知的生命は届いた思いを無意識のうちに言語化する。だから頭の中で私が話しているように聞こえるはずです。
Oh, we're going very esoteric here. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so she was talking about, like, transmitting her thoughts, feelings, art to the recipient. Intelligent life instinctually, like, verbalizes the God, it's such a problem that omoi in English, like translating omoi to English, sometimes you have to say heart, sometimes you have to say thoughts, sometimes you have to say feelings, but it's all the same word, right? Like, you can't just say intelligent life translates, you know, unconsciously puts the heart that it receives into words. That doesn't work. You'd have to say the feelings, the thoughts into words. Man, it is tricky. I'm trying to think of a good way that you could establish this theme. I think you might need to do something along the lines of adding in a line somewhere, like saying that, quote-unquote, like, the heart comprises one's thoughts, feelings, emotions, sentiment, etc., and then use the word. Like, once you establish that generalized meaning, then you can use the word. You can use any of those words in combination, and the player will still understand that you're referring to the same generalized concept. That's probably around what you would have to do. Yeah, you unconsciously verbalize the received feelings, therefore it should sound as though I'm speaking directly to your, like, within your head.
私の
directly
役目
within
に
your
は
mind.
この力が欠かせません。未知の言語を用いるものや音声によらない意思疎通を行うもの、あらゆる知的生命と対話ができるようになっています。
This really sounds like we're building up this, this sounds like some transcendent shit that's going on. This power is essential for my role, for my mission, my duty. I think you would probably say duty here. I'm designed to be able to interact with all manner of, intelligent life, you know, including those who use unknown languages or communicate wordlessly.
代わりに、口述での意思疎通はあまりうまくはありません。
However, yeah, my like verbal communication abilities are lacking. Yeah, however,
で
like
も
my verbal
ヘルメスから
communication
人には隠したい思いもあるのだと習いました。だから力を使わずに話せるときはそうしなさいと。
However, yeah, I was told by Hermes that yeah, humans have, you know, thoughts and feelings that they wouldn't, that they wish to keep hidden, so when possible, I should speak without using my power.
私はあなたに定義するのがとても難しいけれど確かな親愛を抱いています。
I possess a difficult to a deep like affection for you that is difficult to describe, yet certain.
私たちと性質が似ていること、その思いが公職のように不思議な複雑さを持つこと、それらを好ましく感じ、知りたいと思うのです。
Yeah. Okay. Like our nature is similar. Like that. Like that feeling is as, you know, wonderful and complex as like the colors of light itself. I find that it's like I find that pleasant, I guess, and would like to know more about it.
だからできるだけ力を介さずに話したい。少し不便かもしれませんが、どうか仲良くしてください。
Yeah, so, however, I want to talk as much as possible. I want to talk without using my power. It might be, you know, a bit inconvenient. I guess you could say a bit unwieldy or something, please. I would just say, like, I wish to be friends. You know, even still, I wish to be friends. Did that all get through? Yeah.
じゃあ、私もまた一つ聞くね。あなたの得意は何？
So, yeah, now I'm going to ask another question. What are you good at? Like, what's your specialty? 戦うこと。The music just immediately cuts. Like, you can say, like, making stuff, gathering things, just kind of, you know, having fun. It's secret. I'm just gonna say straight up, I am a stone cold killing machine. I'm built to kill.
すごい。 じゃあ、危ない創造生物、暴れても平気ね。
Yeah. Oh, wow, amazing. Yeah, so even if, like, a dangerous creation goes wild, you'd be totally fine.
ヘルメスも強いと思うんだけど、戦うの好きじゃない。暴れてる創造生物でも。
You know, Hermes is also strong, but he doesn't like to fight. You know, even when created life forms go out of control. Why is the showbill just staring at her?
もしかして私たち邪魔？
Are we bothering it? Are we, you know, are we in the way?
オレオ、次、行こう。館に近い建物の中にエワンテいる。そこでまた一つ教えるね。
Okay, okay, let's go see Eonte. In the... No, like, the thing that's slow is my brain right now. Oh, it didn't get the last one? Huh, weird. Yeah, okay, we're just going over there to talk to Eonte. You know, it's our turn to be told to get a new thing told to us. The thing is that I don't necessarily feel as like brain fogged as usual when I'm tired. It's just that I feel like, you know, I'm operating at like 50% speed. It's weird.
あらまあ、こんにちは、メーティオン。今日はお仲間を連れているのね。
Oh, hello, Mayon. I see you brought a friend today.
こんにちは、エウアンテ。あのね、リンゴを作ってほしい。
Wait, what? Hello, Eonte. Can you make an apple?
瓶に入れて、
Yeah, I
砂
wanna...
糖ドバドバする。それ、
Will
エル
you
メス
make
の
an
好きな
apple?
もの。だから、オレオと食べる。
Yeah, you put it in a... Like in a bottle? Bean? Or like, that's just like in a container of some kind. You know, and then... You know, with like a lot of sugar, it's something that Hermes likes. I want to eat it with them.
リンゴの砂糖漬けね。確かにそれはヘルメスの好物だ
Oh, like a
けど、
candied
あなたは
apple?
食べ物を取るように作られていないのよ。
Okay. Are we candy apples? Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, that's Hermes' favorite, but you weren't made to, like, need food?
でも、砂糖ドバドバのリンゴ、私も好き。
But, you know, I really like those, like, sugary apples, too.
あなたは心を通じさせる能力を持つ。だから彼の喜びを自分の喜びだと思ってしまっているのね。
Things are getting weird here. Yeah, you have you have that ability to like, communicate with the hearts of others. So, like, you mistook, like, his joy while eating it as your own.
この場でリンゴは渡せないけれど、近いうちに作ってヘルメスに差し入れるわ。それを待っていてちょうだいね。
So I can't give you an apple right now, but I'll make one for Hermes. I'll make some for Hermes soon. Please wait until then.
オレオ、ごめん、教えるの失敗。うまくいったら、あなたの好きも聞きたかった。
Yeah, sorry, I failed. If it went well, I would have asked you about, what you like. Yeah, sure, whatever. I'll tell her, here's some,
わあ、
yeah,
す
wow.
ごいすごい、嬉しい気持ち、たくさんね。
That's literally you just kind of say, tell her about, like, a thing you like a lot. Wow. Yeah, you really like
教
that
え
a
て
lot.
くれてあり
Thank you
が
so
とう。
much.
ヘルメス
Okay.
たち、話し合い、終わったかな？様子、見に行ってみようか。
Are they, yeah, Hermes, are they all done talking yet, do you think? Let's go and see. Yeah, I get the distinct feeling we're not gonna have, like, this blue thing is going to be some sort of, very fucked up experiment into Dynamis. And that's the way, like, means by which we're going to get told about a lot of the back-end world stuff.
ああ、おかえり、二人とも。気分転換はできただろうか？
Oh no, I think on that one I just didn't even press the MTL button because there wasn't really any need. And welcome back. Both of you. Were you able to get some, get some fresh air?
とても新鮮、とても楽しい。オレオはね、
Yeah.
エルピスとヘルメスを観察したくて、ここに来たんだって。
Yeah, it was super refreshing, very fun. Apparently, they came here because they wanted to learn more, or observe Oedipus and you, Hermes.
だから、教えようとした。エルピスの役割、私の意思疎通の方法、それから、ヘルメスの好物。
Yeah, so I tried to tell them, teach them about, what the role of Oedipus, the way that I communicate with others, and, your favorite food.
最後のは、役立つとは思えないが。
I don't think the last one is going to be of any use to them, but...
彼女に付き合ってくれてありがとう。こちらも話し合いがちょうど終わったところだ。
Thank you for spending time with her. We just got done. We just finished our discussion.
終わったというか、お前が返事を保留にしただけだろう。それで仕方なく先に仕事ぶりの確認をすることにしたんだ。
Yeah, we're not really done. You just put off giving us an actual answer. So there's nothing else for us to do other than just, observe the performance of your duties.
面目ない。
面目ない? My apologies.
そんなわけで、この後、エメトセルクたちを連れて、いくつか仕事をこなすことになったんだ。
Okay, as such, it's been, decided that Emmett Selk and, Hythlodaeus will be accompanying me in the, performance of my duties, you know, several
メー
tasks.
ティオンを連れ出してくれたお礼も兼ねて、一緒にどうだろうか。もちろん、君の役に立ちそうであればだが。
As thanks for spending time with Medion, would you care to join us? Of course, only if it would, you know, be of any use to you. I mean, you would just say, like, only if you would like.
一つ忠告しておくと、そいつは目的こそ、私たちと同じだが、14人委員会の指示で動いているわけじゃない。たまたまプロピュライオンで拾っただけだ。
You know, a word of warning. Even though they came here for the same reason as us, they are not, acting under the discretion of the Committee of 14. We just happened to find them yeah, we just happened to pick them up along the way in, Population.
知られた情報がどこに届くかは、保証しないぞ。
We have absolutely no way of knowing where, like, where any information that they learn will end up going.
構わない。メーティオンがこれだけ楽しそうなんだ。悪やる詮索ではなかったと思う。
It doesn't bother me. For Methion to have been enjoying herself so much. No, I don't believe it's possible for this to be in any way malicious.
俺は
This
本
observation to be in
当
any
に優しい。私が教えた分だけ自分のこと教えてくれた。
you know, they're really nice. As much as I told her about me, she told me about her. Yay!
ねえ、
Yeah.
一緒に行こう。ヘルメスの仕事、発見いっぱい。きっと、あ
Okay,
なた
let's
が
go.
探してる何かも見つかる。
You know, there's so much to see. Yeah, in Hermes' job, there's so many, like, discoveries being made all the time. You'll, you know, definitely find what you're looking for. Ooh. That's a very... Huh. Wait a second, is that actually the meaning that I think that it means? It's like... definition separates life. Or like definition determines life. Or delineates life.
では、仕事の続きに向かうとしよう。まだ何件か野に放っている創造生物の観察が残っているんだ。
Okay, let's continue our I guess actually it's like I suppose we should get back to work. There are still more creatures that need to be there's still more created life forms that need to be observed.
まずは天側園の東、ちょうど先ほど
first
ア
to
ン
the
ビ
east.
ストマを保護したあたりへ、敷地外に出るから気性の荒い創造生物には注意してくれ。
Okay. Head east of the observation garden. It's Venus. It's the Venat thing is whenever it was originally translated, it's a s at the end. It's Venus. Like here, let me and let me just look up real quickly if that's the same katakana for Okay. So they're doing a similar thing that they did in, they're doing a similar thing with it that they did in Shadowbringers. So, here, let me throw this in chat real quick. So this is the Japanese katakana for Venus. You know, the like actual goddess. This is the name for the character in Final Fantasy XIV. So, instead of Venus, it's Venus. They did the same thing with Dean. Like, they just added they extended one of the Mora a little bit to make it kind of like a fantasy play on the name. But you can't really just extend the name like that in English, and so if anything, you would make it so it is pronounced exactly the same as Venus, but with like a different spelling, right? But it's a S. It's not like Vena or something like that. It's a S. Similarly, they did like they just changed names for no apparent reason. Just like Fadanier was changed to Fan Daniel with an N thrown in there for no reason. You know, Bean was literally just translated to Reen instead of Lin or Leon. Albert was changed to Ardbert. They're really fond for some reason in the English of taking these katakana names and just making them, like, dumb. And also, another big one, if you look at Emmett Selk's name there, it's Emmeto Seruku. There's no split. It's not Emmeto Seruku. It's Emmeto Seruku. It's all one word. Emmett Selk shouldn't be two words. It should just be one word. It should be Emmett Selk. Like, if anything, you would maybe write it like EMMETSELK. Or something, potentially. Assuming that it's not, like, Emmett Selk is not already, like, an actual Latin thing or something that I'm not entirely familiar with. But it should be all one word. There's no pause between it. His name isn't Emmett, last name Selk. His name is Emmett Selk. You know, similarly, Hythlodaeus, which is directly it's actually kind of weird that he's Hythlodaeus instead of Hythlode. Considering that they're going with, you know, they based all of this off of, or they based a lot of the design for and lore for these characters off of Utopia. Because the character in Utopia is Hythlode, which is derived from Hythlodaeus. But they just went with Hythlodaeus instead. Like, they went with the word that the name was derived from rather than the name from Utopia. I believe it's pronounced Hythlodaeus. I'm not entirely sure, though. I can't remember if it's Hythlodaeus or Hythlodaeus. But the katakana doesn't actually matter in regards to that, because it's, like, they're doing a katakana version of an actual, Greek word. I believe it's Greek. I'm still kind of, like, I'm not operating at 100% capacity here, so I'm not, don't quote me on any of that in terms of, like, the word origins. But, like, for example, Hermes the katakana for Hermes is Herumesu, which is, And yeah, it's Deus. Hythlodaeus. You know, like, for example, my name in katakana is Danieru, which doesn't really actually sound that close to Daniel. Yeah, that's a whole thing from Utopia, is Utopia as a satire that was written in the time. It was presenting the characters and opinions of this fictional land of Utopia as being a nonsensical place, so as to maintain an air of plausible deniability from the church in saying, like, oh, I'm not saying all of this stuff about everybody in the church being parasites and modern society being built on cruelty and blah blah blah. It's this guy whose entire name actually is, like, you know, it means, like, dispenser of nonsense. You know, like, fountain of nonsense. This guy, this totally crazy guy, is just so far out there. He told me all of this stuff. It's not me writing it, it's he said all of this. And I mean, that he's kind of crazy. But, you know, I think he's got a couple of good ideas. You know, maybe we should listen to some of them. It's that sort of thing, right? That was the whole... He just put up a shield of, you know, an air of absurdity to protect against, you know, direct accusations of, like, disparaging the church and shit like that. It's fun. Anyway. But honestly, you should probably, especially considering that, like, Hermes is just Hermes, you should probably just go with Venus for the character name. Like, you've got Hades, you've got Venus. There's really no reason it should be Vena. There shouldn't be a T there. It should just be Venus. But it's a problem in general with the Final Fantasy series, and really with a lot of translations, like, with any sort of legacy, is that for some ungodly reason, they just absolutely refuse to change mistakes that have been made in the past. Like, somebody just decides to change something at random, and then it's like that forever. You can't ever just fix it for some unknown reason. You know, it's why, again, we're gonna be getting Necron. God.
これはしばらく前から放っている新種のペタルダだ。どこも異常はない。
Okay, this is a new species of Petarda. Yeah, there are no
生物として
abnormalities.
存在も安定してい
Nothing
る。
wrong with it.
この調子で観察期間を終えれば、晴れて地上の適切な地域に送られることだろう。
Okay, it's like biology is stable. Okay, so at this rate, once it's like observation period ends, it'll be like, it's just gonna be like released into the world at large, okay? Yeah, the Yoda quote. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that I think that what they were going for was just general. I think, like, doing a smear of Greco-Roman naming conventions for the ancients is fun. Because I think that rather than it just being something that they think sounds cool, I think that having it be a mix of both of them actually kind of works towards the theme of, you know, multiple worlds existing with like the same framework, right? You know, you've got Greek and Roman mythology, and then you have the ancients' version of world history, and then the people who came after's version of world history. It actually kind of plays into the theme, I think. You know, just as the Greeks and Romans, like, had different names for the same entities and, like, kind of picked up. You know, it's an inheriting of what came before is being conveyed through using both terms. Right? It's a passing down of information and memory to an extent. I think it works. I don't know if I explained that the best, but I think it was most likely an intentional choice.
君は生物と魔法生物を分けるのは何か知っているか?
Oh shit, here we go. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I was very curious. This is exactly what I wanted to know. And, okay, this is why the quest name is awesome. This is why the quest name is awesome. So, remember, the quest name here was like, definition defines or like delineates life. And so, you want, or it's like, yeah, do you know the difference between life and, like, life forms? I think you would say, like, living beings and magical beings. It's very important that they're both
正解は魂の有無だ。そして魂というものは宿すか否かを決められるものじゃない。
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, we're going off the deep end here. Okay, hold up. Can I question, what do they translate Mahosebutsu to? What do they translate Mahosebutsu to? Because they're both seibutsu, like living being, living thing, organism. So it should be life and magical life. Do you know the difference between life and magical life? The word life being important. Very, 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 very fucking important. And I'm going to answer my own question. Oh god, they say, do you know the difference between living beings and arcane entities? They don't use the word life for both. Oh my fucking god. Kill me. Kill me. Just kill me. Entities? Seibutsu. Maho seibutsu. Same word. Why is it entity instead of life? That's a problem. The answer is the existence or non-existence of a soul. And, yeah, a soul... No? Huh. Okay. Like, a soul is not something which can be... like, which one can choose to possess or not.
自身のみで生存が可能な形に作られたとき、内に魂が生じて生物となる。
Okay. That's interesting. So wait, no, it's not even talking about one can decide to have. Okay, so that was more like a soul is not something that... I would say, like, a soul is not something that can be created at will, would probably be the way to word it. Or, like, a soul cannot be placed within an organism at will. Huh. That's an interesting... Oh, I don't like that at all. I don't like this at all. This is very bad implications. I don't like this. Yeah, this is critically important, but this... So, this is essentially describing... this is all going back to, like, the Yorishiro stuff with Izeru and everything like that. They're describing the soul as a spontaneous phenomena. Like, the soul... If we're going with the soul being something made of, like, ether, then, you know, the idea here is that souls are drawn to life that are capable of housing them. Meaning that, like, the soul and ether itself is likely some sort of fucking mind parasite. That seems to describe, like, the soul as effectively hijacking a suitable vessel at will. Like, not at will, actually, but rather upon a soul encountering, or like the weave of souls surrounding reality encountering a suitable vessel, one moves to embody it. Sort of like a fucking fluid transfer across a permeable membrane or some shit like that. Souls move to fill empty space. Or something like that. Like, when something is created that has the ability to survive on its own, or like to maintain its own existence, then a soul arises within it spontaneously. Or like a soul, yeah, arises within it and it becomes a living being. Yeah, it becomes a living organism. So, actually, no. So, seibutsu here, you've got to keep the translation the same. So, life and magical life. You'd have to say, yeah, a soul arises within it and becomes life.
一方で、単独では生存が不可能な形で作られたとき、例えば術によって構築されたり、自然現象に伴って発生するものには、魂が生じない。
Huh. On the other hand, when something is created in a way that cannot sustain life on its own, or cannot maintain existence on its own, for example, something created through magic, or something that emerges through naturally occurring phenomenon, like through, or yeah, arising from, occurring spontaneously with natural phenomenon, a soul is not produced. Interesting.
外見が動植物に似ていたとしても、それら魂なきものは魔法生物になるんだ。
Even if their appearance resembles a plant or animal, these soulless creatures are, magical life forms. No. So the natural phenomenon there is not referring to, like, birth. They're talking about, like, chemical reaction or something. Like, that natural phenomenon is, Jizen Gensho is not referring to, like, birth would not be described as such. You know, they're talking about, like, say you had, like, a volcanic vent at the bottom of the ocean, and, you know, through some, like, etheric combination of stuff, like, some sort of weird fire jellyfish thing shows up as a result. That thing is going to be a magical life form. It's not going to actually have a soul. It's something that moves and is, like, constructed of magic in some way, of ether in some way, but is a naturally occurring byproduct of some form of, like, natural chemical reaction or something. That's what they're referring to. Hold on. Now I need to... Yeah, now I need to check this. Okay. Here, like, let's... Okay, let me see what this...
そう、魂を持つこと、生命になるということは、人が手出しできない領域の
生命に
現象
なる。
自分たちが管理すべきだなんて、おこがましい妄想だ。
できない領域。It sounds like that's exactly what he's trying to do. Having a soul, becoming truly alive is like a naturally occurring phenomenon that humans cannot possibly manipulate. To think that we could is, you know, nothing more than... Yeah, to think that we could control it is... Or to think that we ought to control it is nothing more than delusion. So, this actually matters. So, one second. Let me yoink this English section, because I think that this would probably confuse a lot of people. Like, this is going to be pretty important for the story going forward. Okay, so, tell me, do you know the difference between living beings and arcane entities? Problem 1, that should not be entities, it should be life. Again, life, magical life. Something similar, you gotta use the same word. It is the presence of a soul, yet the soul isn't something you can choose to have at will. They made the same mistake that I made at the start. It shouldn't be, it's not you can choose to have at will, it is... The soul is not something that can be, like... Whether or not something can have a soul cannot be determined, like, by us. We cannot control what has a soul or not. I believe. No, it manifests only in those beings whose form adhere to the laws of creation that can endure on their own. What the fuck does that mean? They just brought in the law of creation thing? That's the whole Zodiac thing that they're talking about here. The Kotowari. That was not brought up in the Japanese. Mixing those two concepts is a very, very bad idea here. You should not be mixing those concepts here at all. Especially considering that isn't what they're talking about. Bringing up laws of creation here makes it seem as though... Was the Zodiac thing, laws of creation, also a mistranslation from the Japanese? No. So, it's something that they actually didn't bring up basically at all in the game until Shadowbringers. But even as far as in the beginning of ARR, they were talking about, like, Sekai no Kotowari. Kotowari being, like, the laws of the world, the laws of reality. really, laws of creation is bad. It should be laws of reality. They were saying that there was some, you know, the Asians in ARR were saying that there was a problem with the laws of reality. You know, and that they were going to fix the laws of reality. None of that ever got translated. However, that's not what they're talking about here. And bringing that up here is going to make people make connections to stuff that is not actually what's being discussed. They didn't say things which adhere to the laws of reality. They're not going to be able to make things that don't adhere to the laws of reality. That's the point. The things that they make become the laws of reality. Like, they become part of the back end of reality. That's the whole point of creation magic. They are bringing ideas, the, like, theory of forms ass concept of idea into reality. They didn't say things which forms adhere to the laws of creation. They said things that are capable of maintaining their own existence. If you wanted to go more specific, you would say, like, what? Like, things that are capable of maintaining homeostasis or something. But even then, you probably wouldn't say homeostasis, because there's probably going to be, you know, like some, again, fire jellyfish at the bottom of the ocean at some volcanic vent that's capable of sustaining itself. You would say, you know, what they actually said in Japanese, which is things that are capable of maintaining their own existence. Things that were created in a form which allows them to maintain their own existence. Like, to maintain their own survival. In those things, then a soul manifests, a soul arises, and it becomes life. That's the Japanese. Back to the English. It manifests only in those beings which forms adhere to the laws of creation that can endure on their own. Beings that do not fulfill this requirement, such as those spontaneously born of magic or natural phenomena, do not have souls. Kind of almost close enough, honestly. I don't have much of a problem with that. But again, you really should... The problem is actually the emphasis on that line is wrong compared to what they're going for in the Japanese. It isn't about, like, oh, they don't have souls, that's the thing that matters. The emphasis of the line is the development of souls. They're placing more emphasis in the Japanese on the idea of a soul spontaneously, or spontaneously generating within something or being drawn to something. Do bacteria, microbial organisms have souls? With this setup, they would. Probably. However, it doesn't seem like they're going with the idea of a soul being synonymous with, like, full intelligence, but rather a delineation between the concept of life and magical life, or, like, non-real life. So, I mean, anything that would count as life is going to have a soul here. That, like, within the framework that they're giving here, you know, any sort of microorganism would have a soul. And also, considering that they just described the characters here as cells, you know, they use the word cell to describe us. We are like the cells of Eteris. You know, that's another direct comparison to microbiology. I mean, I don't think they actually established the idea of reincarnation, like, potentially putting you into a completely different class of life. Because it seemed like they said that the soul sort of is only drawn to, you know, a resonant or suitable vessel. So I don't think you could have, like, a human soul end up as a bacteria with this setup. I don't think that's how that works. In any case, back to the English. No matter how much it might resemble flora or fauna, if it lacks a soul, then it is considered an arcane entity. I really hate arcane entity instead of magical life. Life form. Because it isn't that they're saying that it's not alive. They're making an interesting delineation between different modes of life. You know, a lot of these things that are magical life forms are going to, you know, operate on a lot of the... They're going to qualify as being alive by, you know, all normal scientific standards. It's just that they don't have souls, which are established as a proven thing in this setting. It is not for mankind to decide what is living. That domain lies beyond our manipulation, and it is hubris to assume otherwise. Oh my fucking god. So they did do this. So they did do this. They said living. They're conflating the two. So even though the Japanese is going to explicit lengths to use seibutsu, or, yeah, like what, seime for both? Yeah, seibutsu to. Mahou seibutsu. Seime. Ah, man. I think at most you would have to say organism. Like organisms and magical organisms. Or you would say life and magical life. Is not, yeah, it's not something that we can do. The domain lies beyond our manipulation, and it is hubris to assume otherwise. It's not hubris to assume. He didn't say hubris. I mean, kind of. He... Okogamashi, moso, sure, whatever, that's fine. But I really, really dislike them saying arcane entity. Arcane entity is really fucked for that. And the whole laws of creation thing there is very... That has to have thrown people so hard. Because then you would be going like, oh, you know, with the change in the world with Zodiac being gone, like, are there going to be different criterias for what can hold life? Which might be the case. That might be something that they're going to go for in the Japanese here. But it's not necessarily being directly implied. But rather that they establish the criteria for life existing as something that is capable, like, there has to be life in a form that is capable of maintaining its own existence without any outside intervention. That is when a soul is generated, or a soul arises within that entity, and it becomes a life, like a life form, a living being. Yeah, let's move on. There's some magical life forms gathered under a lighthouse to the north, or around a lighthouse in the north. Is it going to be a moth? Is it going to be a moth? But yeah, we were, you know, all through ARR and Heaven's Word, we were constantly screaming about them not translating the word Kotowari. Like, tons of the ASEAN's lines in ARR and Heaven's Word would just have these very long foreshadowing segments that just got completely removed in the English. And replaced with, like, actual nothing. You know, an ASEAN would say, like, aha, we, the ASEAN, seek to return the laws of you know, the laws of reality to their original proper state. And in the English it would just be, we Asians are servants of darkness. They would just get rid of all of the actual foreshadowing.
ヒュトロダエウスとエメトセルクのことも知りたい。どうしてアンビストマ、外ってわかった？
Melion is talking to Hythlodaeus and Emetzelk. How did you know that they got out? Okay.
聞いていた通りだ。雷のプネブマが集まっている。
Yeah, so this is what they're referring to as, like, magical life forms, magical organisms. Magical penumbra. Punebuma. I think that's supposed to be penumbra. Yeah, it's just what I heard.
ここは灯台と呼ばれているが、島を浮遊させたり、周囲の気温を調整したりするために、属性のバランスを操作する巨大なマグなんだ。
Okay, this is a lighthouse. You know, it's called a lighthouse, but it's a huge, it's a massive magical... It's like a tool or a magical apparatus to control the like balance of etheric attributes, or yeah, balance of attributes elements to like keep the island afloat and regulate the temperature.
そのため、周囲よりも特定の属性が強くなることがある。
Aha. As a result, certain attributes are stronger than in the surrounding areas.
雷のプネブマが集まっているのは、彼らの極端に雷属性によったエーテルを補充するため、生物でいうところのお腹が空いた状態だからだろう。
お腹が空いた状態。Yeah, we're really going deep into this. I like this a lot. This is super interesting. The reason why... These Punebima are gathered here is to, like, replenish their own ether, which is, like, heavily skewed towards the attribute of the element of thunder. You know, it's similar to a living organism becoming hungry.
メーティオンはエメトセルクたちと話中か。
Seems like Medion is speaking with Emetzelk and Hythlodaeus at the moment.
だったら、君が雷のプネブマたちに餌をやってみないか？
Huh. 餌をやる? Huh. Okay, so in that case, would you like to give a try at feeding the thunder Punebuna? Punebuna.
この週雷魔法のイデアを使えば、使い手の素質によらず、場の雷属性を集められる。
Huh. Okay, by using this lightning magic idea, regardless of your own personal abilities, you should be able to, like, gather the, or the, yeah, thunder magic, lightning magic. Ah. You can, yeah, focus ambient, like, the ambient surrounding thunder, even without,
それで、
like, being a
雷の
black
プネ
mage
ブ
or
マ
whatever.
たちのそばに、雷球を生
Yes,
成
regardless
す
of
る
your
ん
own
だ。
personal
彼ら
abilities.
にとって最高のご馳走になるだろ
Okay. Create a ball of thunder, ball of lightning near him. Oh, it's an actual target. Yeah, that should be perfect for him. Wow. Wow.
巻き終えたか。ああ、ほらごらん。
Yeah, so here we're getting into the question of, what's Medion then? Yeah, you done feeding them? Ah, look.
気に入ってもらえたようだ。彼らは言葉を持たないが、だから素直に行動で示してくれる。
Right now, Hermes slash Fidaniel seems to be more inclined to wanting to be like a magical organism. He seems to be... Okay, if this is going where I think it's going, I think Hermes might be intending to try and rid himself of a soul, so as to just be able to, like, live without concern or worry or fear. Like, the idea that these magical beings that are without souls are somehow, like, living better lives. Because the Sunao ni there is triggering some alarm bells for me. I might be reading too much into it, but I'm getting a little bit sketched out. It seems like they like it. They might not be able to speak, but you know, that's why they show precisely like how they feel through their actions.
言わないからといって、
You know, they
何も
just
感
show.
じていないわけじゃない。人から見て知能が低いからといって、
Yeah,
何
that
も分か
might
って
be
いない
what they're
わけじ
going
ゃない。
for. Yeah, this is like this next line is kind of leading into that. Yeah, just because they don't say it, it doesn't mean they don't feel anything. Just because from a human perspective they do not seem intelligent, that doesn't mean they don't understand anything.
「彼らのように魂のない魔法生物だって、ペタルダのように儚い生物だって、みんな思い思いに生きているんだ。
Yeah. Omoi ni. Oh, damn. That's a really... We're using the other form of omoi in another set phrase. Ooh. Okay, even magical or life forms without soul, such as them, or fleeting life forms, such as the Petoruda. Like, all live as they please. Like, live their lives. Like, to... It's this omoi omoi ni ikiteiru nda. Like, in their own way, or as they please. It's definitely indicating a sense of, like... I think you would probably say, like... I think you would just say, like, they each live their lives as they please. Meteor. Yeah, is Meteon magical life form?
さて、理論上の過程なら話せるが、最終的にそれを見るのは創造物管理局の仕事だ。
Oh, he is dodging the question. Well, I could speak from a, like, theoretical standpoint, but like, the final determination on that ultimately falls to the Creation Administration Bureau.
ヒュトロダイウスのような見る力のある者には、きっと正解が見えているのだろうが。
Huh. To those with the ability to discern, to see, such like Hythlodaeus, you know, they must be able to like the answer must be obvious.
自分にとってはどんな分類を与えられようがメーティオンはメーティオンだ。それで十分だと思っている。
But to me, no matter what classification she's given, Meteon is Meteon. That's enough for me.
あれ、もう終わってる？私、視察、邪魔した？
Oh, are you done already? Did I get in the way of the observation?
いや、特筆すべきようなことはしていない。仕事はまだ残っているから、次へ行こう。
And nothing particularly of note. Yeah, nothing particularly of note happened. There's still, work left to be done. Let's go.
ここから東にある塩松の庭で観察中の職員たちにいくつか確認すべき事項があるんだ。案内しよう。
Wait a second, Sekimatsu? Oh, that's like tide bubble or something? Some sort of like tide current thing? Or like saltwater bubble? Huh. I'm assuming there's some sort of like tide pool that we're going to. Or Sekimatsu. This is a weird constructed thing. Yeah, I can't give a good, like, immediate name TL for that. My apologies. I guess it would be like tidal foam or something, maybe? Whatever you go with, it has to be something that brings that into mind, I think. Okay, people, like, observing things over there have some important matters that need to be, like, they need a second opinion on or they need confirmation on. Or, you know, I need to confirm some things, some information from them. Yeah, that's probably the directionality there, actually. Needs to get some intel. Oh, wait a second. So we are going with the... Oh, okay, so that's why it's Sekimatsu. Ah, fuck off. That's so... God, that's impossible. Okay, I'm gonna be stuck on that for way too long if I try and... Like, that would be a whole ass rabbit hole that I would need to go down to try and figure out a good name for this. But it's like... There is a tree or something meaning associated with that, but then they used the kanji for, like, salt or, like, sea foam, water, and bubble. And, I have no idea what you would do for this. That's a nightmare, that's a nightmare. That just feels like totally vibes-based. Oh. Oh.
見事なものだろう。アンペロスという。最近観察を始めたばかりの創造生物だ。
Yeah, isn't it, isn't it magnificent? Amperoso. It's, created life form that's just begun its observation period. Do you have a moment? I'd like to hear about, you know, how things are progressing. Ah, fuck. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Here we go. Oh, those are... That's Oedipus. Those are Oedipus flowers. Just like... just like me, they're... Enterekea. I'm sorry, what? Oh shit, we're going hard. Oh, we're going hard. Wait, we're going hard on the... Wait a second, wait a second. Yes, the MTL fucking up, but... I did not recognize this, and it's been forever since I've actually even heard this fucking term. But this is the, this is like, the philosophical thing of, like, something capable of, like, the distinction between realized, like, actualization and potential. Like, the actualization of form. Which is a terrifying thing to describe these as. Something that is capable of actualizing potential within reality? Okay. Great. Those flowers were created here, and... you know, so they were given the... you know, the name Oedipus.
昔ここに美しい花を作ることを愛している職員がいた。 彼女が試行錯誤するうちに偶然生み出したのだという。
A long time ago, there was someone who... There was a member of staff here who loved creating beautiful flowers, and apparently she created it by accident during a process of trial and error.
面白いのは何と言っても周囲の心を映してまとう色を変えるところだ。
Kokoro. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, what's truly fascinating about it, or what's truly interesting about it, is that it changes color to reflect the hearts of those around it. It's not just mood, it's like the heart, the everything that comprises that overview of heart. You know, thought, feeling, sentiment, emotion. Yeah, however, whether here or on the surface, they're overwhelmingly pure white, and without the slightest hint of like, they're pure white, like without shadow. You mean literally without shadow, or are you just referring to... Or are you saying kageri here as in, like, any other shade? Yeah, no, they just mean, like, pure white. Okay, it's like they're just pure white.
人の心を映す。それってどういう仕組みなんだい?
Ooh, Hythlodaeus is going for the throat here immediately. He's saying that with a smile, but he's being dead serious here. Oh, reflecting people's hearts. How exactly does that work? Like, what's the mechanism behind that?
世界にはエーテルとはまた異なる思いが動かす力というものがある。
Within the world, there is a force other than ether, which is influenced by, you know, the heart.
自分たちがエーテルを自在に操るように、この花はその力を受けたり作用させることができる。
Just as we can freely manipulate ether, this flower can, like, absorb this power, can absorb this force and wait, 作用させることができる. Wait a second. Hold up. Wait, 作用させる? Yeah, it's like can act according to that force.
花自身には明確な意志がない。だから周囲の感情によって動いた力を受け、それを色や輝きといった現象に変換しているんだ。
Because that does make it seem like he was saying that the flower would be capable of manipulating this force, this ether force, but he's then adding a little bit of a rider here and saying, however, you know, the flower itself doesn't have any particular, you know, defined will. As such, it, like, receives the you know, the force affected by the hearts of those in its environment and converts that energy into, and converts that into coloration or luminescence. You know, into a phenomenon of luminescence or color.
アーカー社はラザハン式の錬金術に存在する概念で、
思いをする力、yes. We've seen this line many
なん
times.
て言われてるんだ。
Akasha. So, are we going to... This is when we're going to get the actual real name for it, right?
アーカーシャ。その呼び名には心当たりがないが、話を聞くに同じものを指しているように思う。
Now, Akasha, I can't say I've ever heard of that name for it before, but I believe it's referring to the same thing.
自分たちはその力を
Dynamis.
デュナミスと呼んでいる。
Dunamis. Yeah, that's... Dunamis. That should be Dynamis. Dunamis. Actually, hold on. Dunamis. That's the actual... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Dunamis. That's the actual Greek. Wait, that's the actual Greek. Wait, why did they go with Dynamis then? Wait a second. I guess it's just a different pronunciation of it. Nah, it's just MTL being dog shit. Like, it's not actually screwing anything up. It's just MTL is bad, especially when it comes to things like this. So, the thing that's important here is, I'm not quite sure why they went with Dynamis instead of Dunamis, instead of Dunamis. What's the actual pronunciation in Greek? Because, I mean, the Japanese seems to be closer to the actual Greek, or Dunamis. Huh. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why they decided to go with Dynamis then, instead of Dunamis. Weird. Like, technically there's... It appears as though you can kind of say either, but I don't know why you would pick the one that's different from what the Japanese actually went with. Like, if they wanted to go with Dynamis, they would have said Dynamis. Dynamis. But they went with Dunamis. 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 Man, no, you never see a D there. I think that they intentionally went with Dunamis here to make it far more clear that they're going with the, you know, potentiality thing with, shit. I'm trying to remember. They're mixing up a lot of classic... No. Dunamis is... so this is a thing. Okay. Dunamis is from the, what they're going with here is Aristotle's... This is a reference for Aristotle, is what they're doing. It's a philosophical reference. The Greek philosophical concept of, you know, potentiality and actuality. Well, yeah, this is the second reference for potentiality and actuality. They had, the... shit, what was the actual... I can't remember the fucking name for it again because it's all katakana. But Meteon described it. The, like, this is 100% what they're going for. They've doubled up on it here. Enterekie Keiya. Keiya. Entelekia? Or something? This is the second reference to it that they've done so far. And it's not like I knew all of this, you know, off rip, obviously. I know some of this stuff. Like, I know a basic overview of the theory of forms, and I know some amount of, like, Aristotle shit, but it's not like I'm a fucking expert or anything. But Dynamis, and specifically that, yeah, I need to look up the pronunciation of that in Greek. They're talking about the difference between, like, something being actualized or only, like, potential. That is actually the origin of the word dynamic in English. This is something I'm gonna have to actually, like, read back up on. Or really a lot of this I'll be reading for the first time off stream, but this is very interesting. They're going deep. But yes, this does seem to be their justification for what transcendence is. Or at least, you know, they're going to be going towards that. I think you probably should keep this. Hold up. I think you... Dynamis. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna look up the pronunciation here. I mean, they were setting up a lot of this stuff earlier, but so I think that I would have to see the interview, but I think most likely what they're actually doing, or what they actually did, was they had a good general foundation for what they wanted the, you know, the back end of the universe to be in this setting. But they only pinned down the exact specifics of, you know, Dynamis, and the exact ways that it works within this expansion. But they're building off of stuff that they already foreshadowed, right? Like, it's something that's being written as they go, but they're actually doing a good job of tying things back in to, you know, threads that they left hanging specifically to be able to follow up on. Yeah, it should be Dunamis or Dunamis. Probably. I don't really know who would die. I'm gonna say Dunamis. Or I'm gonna say Dunamis or Dunamis. That's what I'm gonna say, because I'm gonna stick with what the Japanese is actually doing, because they're going deep. Like, they're doing some very interesting philosophical shit. No one actually maintained that. Yeah, that's just, like, good writing. Yeah, and such, you know, like the Oedipus flower, like those things with the ability to manipulate dunamis. Is it dunamis?
思いを自在に現象へと変えられる存在をエンテレケイアと呼べ。
Ooh, yes, so they are going with that exactly. That is exactly what they're going for. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Omoi o jizai ni gensho e to kaerareru sonzai. So again, omoi here is not just feeling. Omoi here is not just feelings. Like, the MTL is going to say feelings, the English translation probably says feelings. It is not just feelings. This omoi covers so many other things. If you distill it, if you just have it say feeling, then you're going to cut off a whole section of things that they're probably going to call on later. English specifies it as emotion. That's not really good. Because the problem is that you can have things that are not emotional that would still count as omoi. You could have the idea of an unconscious sentiment. You could have an idea of an unconscious bias, a expectation of how something would work that you aren't even emotionally aware of, but is influencing your thoughts and actions. You know, a mental block, some sort of hang-up, etc., etc. You know, a vague sense of nostalgia. Some of those would, you know, potentially fall under the like, they would touch on emotion, but, you know, if you just say emotion, then all of the meanings of, like, intent and expectation go away. Existences, you know, beings that can, yeah, an existence that can convert. I would go with, like, matters of the heart, potentially here, like matters of the heart into real phenomenon, like observable real phenomena are called enterikia. This is all Aristotle shit.
私もエンテレケイヤ
Enterikeia. Yes, okay. Yeah, that's, you know, that's me. I'm an Enterikeia. Yeah, it's not just mood. That's the thing, is that, you know, you could be angry. Like, what I'm getting from this, at least, is that you could be, like, angry. You could be, in the moment, incredibly angry, right? But, you know, deep somewhere in some part of your mind, you would be, like, relieved. Like, let's say, you know, to use, like, a really fucked up example of, like, an extreme but fucked up example. Like, let's say that you are somebody who is, like, a caretaker for, you know, like, your grandfather or your father, or someone who's incapable of taking care of themselves. And, you know, at some point after however many years they pass away, and in the moment you feel incredibly sad, right? You're devastated by this, and that's genuine, but, you know, in the back of your mind somewhere, potentially not even something that you would recognize or realize, there's a relief. You're no longer feeling this burden anymore, and it might be something that you would be, like, disgusted by, but it's still there. And so that would influence this result. It's much more of a, they're going with a reflection of intent and the heart. Like the will that you project into reality, or something along those lines. it's not just the, I'm not just talking about like subconscious as being the only thing that the flower would be reacting to, but more like it's taking all of that. All of those concepts are being wrapped up into the word omoi. Your feelings, thoughts, sentiment, memory, expectation, desire. And that's not really cleanly defined just with emotion. And, you know, it's a problem because the Japanese word omoi, you know, it cleanly covers all of those, but we don't have an equivalent word in English for that. But I tend to go towards heart, especially considering that the Japanese is using omoi and kokoro somewhat interchangeably, and so you would probably have to go with heart. You know, especially in English, you can say like getting to the heart of the matter. Which goes beyond just emotion, right?
ああ、その子は世界で最初の意志を持つエンテレケイアなんだ。
意志を持つ. Okay. Now she's the first Interekea with a will of their own. I don't know if you would say free will, but a will of their own. Really, it's like conscious, actually, that Ishi o Motsu.
エーテルとは異なる力、デュナミスだと。
Wait. Dunamis is a like different force than ether?
そんなもの
Different power
私
than
ですら
ether?
初めて聞くが。
And, you know, I've never even heard of that before.
無理からぬことだ。まずデュナミスは人に見えないし、感じ取れもしない。
Well, that stands to reason. First of all, Dunamis is invisible, cannot be seen nor sensed by humans.
理論上は長らくあるに違いないとされていたが、エルピスの花が偶然創造されるまでは存在を実証することさえできていなかった。
Huh. Ooh, God, this is getting so interesting. あるに違いない。It's like it's been theorized for a long time that it must exist. Like it's been assumed to exist or that it must exist. But prior to the accidental creation of the Oedipus flower, its existence was never able to be proven.
次にデュナミスはエーテルと比べてずっと弱い力だ。普通の状態ではエーテルに押し負けかき消されてしまう。
Secondly, and I would just say in addition, Dunamis compared to Ether is incredibly weak, is an incredibly weak force. In normal circumstances, like it loses out to Ether and is extinguished, or like or is erased actually.
だから自分たちのように多量のエーテルを有し、何につけてもエーテルを活用する生物はデュナミスを使う必要がない。
Okay, therefore, like, living living beings such as ourselves that possess massive quantities of ether and use it for, like, all applications, have no need for dunamis.
まさにあってない存在だ。ごく一部の研究者にしか知られていないのもうなずけるだろ。
Yes! 合ってない。Hell yeah. Therefore, it is something that is there yet not. I'm assuming that they mean this reasonably. Or I'm assuming that they mean this literally. I don't know why the fuck I said reasonably. I'm assuming that they mean this, like, relatively literally. In the same way that you refer to, like, you know, any sort of, weirder, like... fuck, what... I'm thinking of all this stuff in Japanese, the English is escaping me entirely. But it's, you know, it's there but not. There yet not. Well, it's not like, it's not even like a, they're not going for like a fantasy thing with this. It's more of a comparison to like actual metaphysics. I think they're kind of going for like a sci-fi concept of like, what if you could influence, you know, some element of metaphysics. Yeah, it's like dark energy, right? Something that is observed via absence, right? Or there yet not, etc., etc. They've been going with a lot of dark matter / dark energy comparisons. And so it's there yet not, so it's, you know, it stands to reason that only a few researchers would even be aware of its existence.
なるほどな。しかし、だとしたらどうしてお前はエンテレケイアを、メーティオンを生み出した？
I see. But in that case, why would you create an Enterekea? Median. Why create Enterekea?
アーテリスはエーテルが特別に濃い星だ。それこそ名の由来になるほどに。
Oh, this camera angle is legitimately, and then all of the music cuts out. Aetheris is a world particularly rich, particularly dense in ether. That is, after all, where its name was derived. You know, that is what gave it its name.
だが宇宙全体で見れば、計算上、
Motherfucker!
すべての質量とエネルギ
I
ー
knew
の
it!
68.3% を
68!
占めると考えられている。
68! It is dark energy then. It is dark energy. I called it. Wait, yo. Okay, that's crazy. 68%? Really? We brought up the 68%? Okay, that's just dark energy. It's just dark energy. So, 68.3% is the, like, current estimate in reality for the amount of, and, like, for the quantity of energy in the observable universe that is dark energy. So we are just literally going with, dunamis is dark energy, and ether is baryonic matter. Is that the correct pronunciation? Baryonic? Yo! Okay, that's tight. That's tight. That's tight. That's awesome. Okay, that's sick. That's sick. Okay. So it is just dark energy. It's a bit weird that they would just, like, go with the exact, ratio here. But that is cool as hell. Okay, so we are going to be going, like, very hard on entropy. Oh, God, that... Okay, so that answers a whole lot of questions. So then, if they're actually... Sorry, got stuff stuck in my throat. Ah. If they're actually going with a comparison that's more than just surface level, or dunamis and dark energy, then the primary role of dunamis within the universe is going to be accelerating entropy. Like, that's going to be its primary function. Meaning, they're going with the concept of human will, the human spirit, human, like, drive, being able to manipulate the rate of entropy of the universe. Which is pretty sick. Okay. So, back to the game. Yeah, looking at the universe as a whole, it is, according to current calculations, it's, yeah, estimated that Dynamis accounts for 68.3% of all, mass and energy.
エーテルとは比べ物にならないほど大きいんだ。それを自在に操れるとしたら。
Oh. Yeah, it's incomparable in scope to ether. So what if we could manipulate that freely? Or if someone could manipulate it freely?
石を浮かてすとも滝のように勢いをつければ岩をも削っていくようにデュナミスがエーテルに勝る力になるかもしれない。
Yeah, though gently flowing water cannot hope to pierce, to drill through stone. Like, with enough momentum, a waterfall can carve away rock. You know, as such, Dunamis, you know, might just be a force that far surpasses ether. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Everyone is terrified.
とは言ったものの、実のところ、自分はそんな大それた目的を持っているわけじゃない。
Yeah, I mean, if they translate the 68.3% thing, then it's just, like, obviously that's what they're going for. But, I mean, I've been stuck on it being some form of thing like this ever since they used, like, matter-antimatter annihilation before. And I mean, once they started bringing up, like, oh, we've got ether and this other thing, as fundamental forces in the universe, You throw enough guesses at the wall, and then dark energy kind of fits the bill at a certain point. You know, though, with that said, really, I don't have any sort of... You know, I don't have those sort of grand ambitions or anything like that.
天を宇宙を飛ぶものを作りたかった。
I wanted to create something that could fly, you know, through the sky, through space.
そのために生涯では補給しにくくなるエーテルではなく、別の力を利用できるようにしてはどうかと考えたんだ。
Oh, or we're going to do something here of like, Meteon goes out into space, and then meets whatever the hell is out there actually within Dunamis, and then gets, like, you know, is influenced in turn by those things out there, and if Meteon is the, you know, ends up being like the final villain that we fight, I wouldn't be surprised either. I'm just kind of throwing shit at the wall at this point now, though. Okay, for that reason, I thought it would be, you know, better for that life form to be able to utilize a different force other than ether, which would be difficult to replenish outside of this world.
ああ、だからその子は極端にエーテルが薄かったのか。
I see, so that's why their ether was so thin. We're so, like, diluted. Yeah, thin
ご
tail.
明察だ。
Precisely.
あなたも薄いと感じる。だからエンテレケイヤの仲間と思った。
Yeah, yours too. It's thin. That's why I thought you were Interekea, like me.
違う？
Are you not? Yeah, definitely. We're friends. Oh ho ho. Yeah, okay. So your options here are, yeah, definitely. The bottom one being, well, you know, maybe, like, Emmett Zulk didn't do a very good job, reinforcing me. Or, Ishi no chigara de koto ga aru. Yeah. Like, you know, I have been known to like, transcend barriers through, like, you know, force of will. I'm gonna say that. Gonna start describing some koheru chikara here.
それは単なる火事場のバカ力じゃないか?
Hell yeah. Yeah, isn't that just, you know, standard, like, brute force in the face of danger? You know, he's just saying, like, that's just adrenaline, man. What are you talking about?
エーテルが薄ければエンテレケイヤになるというわけじゃない。だがデュナミスに干渉しやすくなるのは確かだろう。
Thin ether doesn't inherently mean that they're, you know, an Interekea. However, it is true that you seem to be able to, or like it would make it easier for you to, manipulate or influence Dunamis. Ah, I see. Meaning, okay. So if people get split, then that means that their ether is, like, they're less etherically dense, meaning that it's easier for them to supplement that ether with Dunamis. So that's the game plan here. So we're setting up the same concept here of the reasoning behind Hythlodaeus splitting people apart being to intentionally dilute their ether such that they could then replace it with Dunamis so that they would be able to survive even in an etherically, even in an environment of little to no ether. Is that that's her general motivation, probably? Like, this world is fucked, and so you need to be prepared to go off into space, meaning you need to be put into a form that is capable of utilizing the far larger force of Dunamis in the universe. In the same way that Hermes is doing for Medion here. If I say enough things, I'll eventually be right. And that could lead to unexpected victories or like reversals of fate, comebacks. You should consider that a strength of yours and cherish it. Yeah, there's just been a Google here this entire time.
Oh,
looks like we've kept it waiting far too long. There are a few things I need to check with it. Let me get to that. Okay, he's just saying I'll be back after I... Oh, and then it's like, okay. So, delineation. No, it's also being, like, dividing. Okay.
デュナミスやエンテレケアについては私も初耳だよ。エルピスの花が創造物管理局に申請されたのも。
This kind of feels like a last quest here. Like the greatest service or something? Like greatest contribution? So, honestly, like, we're right at about the 4-hour mark, which is normally when I would end. I didn't get through very much because, brain no work, brain be slow right now. But things are getting very, very interesting here. I am extremely glad that they actually busted out the exact dark energy estimate. We're getting into really, really fun, cool-ass sci-fi territory. I like this a lot. I can understand how some people would be like, oh, we're doing time travel, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit. Like, is it a little bit contrived? Yeah, kind of. But at the same time, if it facilitates this level of sick-ass sci-fi exposition, I'm here for it. 110%. So yeah, that is going to do it for me for today. Remember, sub, whatever, all that sort of good stuff. And I will see all of you on Wednesday. Peace out. Okay, bye.